Hello, welcome
Hello.
back. It's a show. Did I do all the things? I don't know. Been
It says
distracted.
recording error on mine.
What?
Yeah, it does.
No, man, everything's all systems go.
There's a
just
wombat
saying.
here.
It says
wild
you're in
wombat
the
appears.
show and recording error. I'm just trying to help. Don't start yelling.
We
at
see you. Just be you. Do
You're
your
good,
thing.
man.
I am being me, but
Nice
Troubleshooting?
digs there, Wombat.
thanks. I'm back in the
Yeah.
old room.
Yeah.
Before we start, Hawkeye, I got your book order. Thank you so much. It's literally right. Nope. It's right there. It'll
New
go off
office.
Do you fulfill your own orders? Is that what?
Signed copies I do.
Do you have elves?
Signed copies. No, everything is myself.
Me, myself, and I.
Yes, unless you buy online, but if you buy on the website, my signed books are my actual signature. So, and that's literally that's all I have in inventory. So
That's
Thank
awesome.
you for your service.
if you want it, get on there now because they're going fast. I think I'm literally selling one per year at this point. So
Are
thank
they
you,
subject to tariffs?
no, they're American made. So
All right.
they're not. They're made in the good old USA. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
do we have a beef?
You and I, of course we do. What's it about?
I don't know.
I mean, you
just
haven't invited me on your show because you went for all these celebrities.
you're
over the weeks.
flying every
Hey.
time you're flying.
I've been flying all day and my arms are tired.
Okay. We rest our case.
So, but I made it.
Uh-huh.
I made it just for this show. I specifically picked up a trip just for this show.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You flew, Gonky.
Dude, I had my first flight in the year 2025 yesterday night. And yeah, it was
Scary, isn't it?
yeah. No, it was fun, dude. I just, I fell right back into it. Kinda, not really. No, it's good, man. Good landing, good flight. It was
Captain's landing. You were pilot monitoring.
yeah.
Had two of them.
What's funny is he even for him, he hadn't flown much as well, but it was good, man. It was I don't know if you guys ever get it in the airliner, but what is it? St. Elmo's fire on the
Oh,
that was wild, man. All the static. I'd never seen that.
You've seen that before in other planes, haven't you?
Not in the Airbus, not in the Airbus.
Okay.
But that was pretty wild. So yeah, I tried to film it with my phone, but it doesn't.
Yeah, don't say that online, dude. Don't. No. That's a joke. He was not trying to film it in flight with his phone. FAA.
FA Luna. Right there. Here to talk to you about.
That's what I meant to say.
Exactly. We need the banner. That's
We got the
working
Luna.
pretty- Why am I not seeing it?
What are you not seeing?
I see the two of you, and no. Oh, there.
You don't see Lunacam?
You don't
No,
see
I-
Luna again?
No, I do. Sorry.
This is her first appearance in
Yes, Luna.
Looking good.
she's
Yeah.
been boycotting.
Yeah,
That's because you've had all these celebrities on, and she feels inadequate, much like I do.
Well, you're here.
You're a
Yeah. So
celebrity.
now she feels comfortable. She's like, "Oh, it's the junior
Uncle-
varsity squad.
Uncle
I can go
Wombat's
back
here."
out."
I can be. It's a safe space now.
No, dude, she's like Wombat's here, therapy dog on duty.
She's felt the sadness through the screen.
That's right. She feels our therapy dog on
She's
duty.
like, you need me.
There.
Stop talking to the screen and
Wombat's. So what else have you been up to, man? What's been going on? It's been a couple weeks.
Dude, it's been a minute. It's been longer than that. I'm sure somebody will chime in. I don't even remember.
forever.
It has been. I mean, we moved back to this room. Daughter moved upstairs, trying to fly as little as possible.
I like your chair.
Thanks. Yeah, that's that I found on my doorstep. I don't know where that came from. I don't know
Amazon.
where
It's
it's
like those hotel room chairs.
yeah. It's very comfortable.
I don't think I can say the name online.
No, I wouldn't.
But it is.
Gun barrel to an F-18 that also showed up on my doorstep. I don't know
Also
how that
Amazon.
showed up. Amazon, yeah, you can
Prime?
find anything on Amazon. Prime now.
Prime.
I mean, it was like I didn't even finish clicking it. It was here. It was amazing.
Alibaba.
So the
Timu.
yeah, just moving that stuff, getting ready for summertime. It's been chill. Did a little writing.
Oh, nice. New book?
What you writing about?
Well, two. So there's two books. So there's the end of the trilogy if I ever can get that story out. And then I mean, I guess I can announce it. Should I announce the other one that we were talking about?
Let's do that, dude. Let's announce something that hold on. Breaking news.
And, yeah. So there will be a I think I'm going to go with what you said, but I forgot what you said on chat. So I need to look it up, but it's there's going to be a Never Down, Never Out book.
Nice.
That nobody will buy. But
wait.
It will sell. It will sell.
Wait a second. Stop.
Am I good
back the truck up. You have a book called Never Down, Never Out, which is motivation, and you just said nobody. Like, who wants to read a book written by somebody? Like, well, nobody's ever going to read this book, so why am I writing?
Exactly.
And the whole
everybody now.
Never down.
Watch the chat.
Never
watch
out.
the chat.
If you are never down and never out,
this is his marketing strategy.
Oh, like where you say something wrong and see how many comments you can get.
You're gonna have to get the book. The strategy is in the book.
Yeah,
the strategy. In the book. So Mover convinced me. So I was between it being called Never Down, Never Out, harnessing the mindset to win at life, or Never Down, Never Out, letters to my son and daughter.
Ooh,
now,
I like that one.
See, Gonky likes that one. Mover likes the first one. So chime in the comments and tell me which one you like.
It's the first one, dude.
I do think it's probably the first one. So I picked up a trip and I was sitting in the back on the way to Phoenix the other day and wrote a few chapters. So that was good.
Nice.
How far back were you sitting?
27C. So exit row next to two nervous flyers, which was fun in an exit row. I'm like, if you're scared to fly, don't sit in an exit row because you're going to get
the first way to get out.
No,
that's how you get out fastest.
And then, so yeah, that was that. And wrote a few chapters, then had a pretty long trip.
How long are your chapters?
On this one, they're short. And the idea is to tell a story. Actually, I guess in all my books, my chapters are short. I like to keep people
and to tell a story. Yes,
true. But in this one specifically, the idea will be to like tell a story of something that happened to me, right, and how it applies, and then there'll be like a lessons learned, so like a hot wash type of thing that we would do in the military, and like, so okay, here's the story of whatever, and then here's the lesson learned, a debrief that you can take away from it, so that you can actually use. So it's a little bit of funny stuff that happens to Wombat or stupid stuff or whatever, but then also
it's like penthouse letters.
You need a date, Mover. You need to go. Will somebody go take Mover out?
I'm helping you out with your marketing.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, I wouldn't tell people about the debrief though, because that would turn me off. Like,
well, but
tell me the story. No debrief.
Let me get my markers
lessons learned,
or make it a skippable chapter.
Yeah, no.
Like
it's
a cutscene.
It's like a paragraph at the end of the chapter, and you could skip it if you want or not. It doesn't matter.
It's a paragraph.
Yeah, it's just like a little summary of like, hey, how does what I just
it's Red Air debrief, Mover.
It's a Red Air debrief.
CT Red Air debrief. Got anything?
Yes.
Nope. Next chapter.
Nope.
Exactly.
Next chapter. So, so now I actually have to write the rest of it because I said it here. Or maybe I don't, because nobody cares about
you
what
say
I
all kinds of things.
It's about
what difference
Canada.
does it make?
So I was flying today. We were flying back to everybody that flew from Austin to Atlanta. You're welcome for being 30 minutes early because I had to make the show. So I apologize for the ride. But
ludicrous speed, go.
And the FO was laughing, and I was telling him, he's like, "So you're on this show?" Maybe he's watching, I don't know. But he's like, "So you're on this show?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How is that?" We were talking about the Toronto incident and all of the hate that I got when I made the offhanded joke for now. And he's like, "Oh, that's hilarious, dude." And I was like, well, and apparently also people don't appreciate when you say that go-arounds are for quitters. So there's a lot of things that trigger people. And he's like, "I've never heard that. And that's hilarious as well." And I was like, I'm not saying they are. I'm just not saying
dude, that's going to be our mental health minute today, by the way.
Is go-arounds are for quitters?
It is?
No. People who watch our show.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
we have drama.
Yeah, Mover
Ooh.
had to douse
Put
some
out
flames.
some fires.
Put
Yeah.
out some flames this week.
I can't
out
wait.
some
Let's talk about
fires
the
at the
stupid
highest-
military stuff, and I want to hear this because
highest possible levels. We had to
really.
invoke Thomas Cruise,
Whoa. So, Mover, how are you doing? How are you
the
guys doing? I haven't talked to you in
60-year-old
a while.
06 had to weigh in. What?
How are you guys doing? I haven't talked to you guys in a while. So,
The
is
usual
everything going-
self-loathing,
Well, no, I know that. I assume.
fear,
that.
sarcasm,
is
and
there
ridicule.
anything? Is there anything new?
Got a
That's
gun.
What I was getting at. Yeah. Are you allowed to show that? Does that
Sweet.
demonetize?
Now we're demonetized.
No, you just
Cool.
can't
Great.
shoot it. I cannot take it apart and show you how to build one,
Yeah.
but I can show you a gun.
It's really nice.
You're
So,
not
what
the
kind
only,
is
You're
it?
not the only one, bro. I got a salt gun here I kill flies with.
That one probably gets us because that's animal cruelty.
Yeah,
Are flies animals?
they are. Okay. First of all,
I thought they're insects.
this ain't news or nothing, but yeah, flies are animals.
Luna perked up as soon as she saw the pistola.
What?
Yeah. Dude,
Mover-
she sensed the heightened stress in
She's
your
like, it's time to go. Is it time to go to work?
Yeah.
Are we
doing
going
this?
policing?
Is it go time? What? What kind is it?
It's a platypus.
Deets. What is that? Because I thought I saw that, and I'm not familiar.
So
and I feel bad that I'm not.
This is not
familiar.
sponsored or anything or nothing.
He says in his SIG voice, because that's what I usually. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, if you drop it, it won't go off. That's a SIG problem.
Why would you drop your gun? That's a personal problem.
accidents, man.
Accidents happen.
Mm,
So this here's the platypus,
okay.
made by Stealth Arms.
Oh, okay. I'm
Uh,
familiar with that.
it's kind of like the Staccato. It used to be STI, but cheaper and customizable, and it uses Glock mags.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is handy.
So I'm gonna go shoot it tomorrow for the first time.
I need a red one to match the.
You can make it any color you want.
interesting.
I agonized over this color combo. Remember?
I bet you did.
Lucky?
I bet you
Gonky,
did.
remember?
You did, but you chose.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I chose
Worked out.
correctly.
Yeah.
And then this is a hollow sun, red dot,
I have one of those. Yeah, that's what I have on mine.
and it's threaded for
Yep, same Z's.
make it quiet or compensated.
Compensated.
Could go either way. I don't think it needs a compensator, to be honest with you, but we'll see tomorrow. And then this
Yeah.
is a TLR1 HL.
Mm.
Flashlight.
Which was bright as you described when you pointed it at the camera pre-show, and that is what goes on pre-show.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Gonky? Anything new?
you
you
got it already.
being surprised.
Are we going in
You can-
circles now? Are we just
Did we?
gonna keep ping ponging? What's new?
Yeah. Hey, when
Gonky,
you're done,
did you have
ask me.
something new from the last time you told us something was new?
Did I say anything was new?
Yeah, you flew yesterday. We talked about
Yeah.
that.
I'm sorry. If
That's
you
it,
want
Wombat.
viewers, do you want me to be serious or myself? Because one of those gets viewers. All right.
Be
Well, yeah.
yourself.
Just
Wombat, I flew, and I've got we're heading home to Ohio tomorrow. So the next couple weeks, you guys, there will be a different background for the show, and maybe back to some questionable internet, depending on.
did you get your Starlink Mini?
I did not. My wife
Of course,
said
the
no.
wife said no. Why?
Can we just sponsor it? Can we just get some?
I
sponsorship
still don't
and get you
understand how the
Starlink?
wife would be like, oh, something to make my life better. Nope.
Well, it's because we go up to Ohio in the motorhome, and then we camp out in a pretty nice, very outdoorsy country setting, and she doesn't want the kids, which I don't blame her.
Don't
a
give them the
temptation.
password.
Yeah, dude, you're a parent for Christ's sakes. You're allowed
You're
to
in
be
charge.
Look, I can on my phone. I can turn the Wi-Fi off myself on
Yeah.
my device.
There's technology that exists.
you
As a
guys-
parent,
you guys are
you
too
can
s-
actually
You guys
turn
are
it
too
off
smart
with your
for me.
kids' devices.
Dude, listen, that's what's new with me. that's
not
all.
new.
it's- that's
Sounds
All
like
I'm
the same thing.
hearing is Mrs. Gonky
Oh.
would love internet in the RV, but Mr. Gonky's too cheap to buy it, and he's blaming it on his wife. That's what I
No.
Mr. Gonky doesn't know how to work it and is afraid his kids will run wild. That's the problem. He's too technologically illiterate to know that it turns off and unplugs.
it's It's
awesome.
It's a democracy in my house, man. All of my businesses, it's me
You're
and my
a
wife.
cheer
So I can't
tater,
just-
Torrance. Okay,
Yeah.
we got stuff from the
Yeah.
audience. Tom says it's the Wombat Show featuring Mover and Gonky.
Never,
Perfect.
never.
Oh, I got a
Never.
solution for that. There it is.
Perfect. It's great. Makes the room look better too.
That room does
The
look
flag,
good, man. Looks
flag
good.
flown over Afghanistan by my buddy. Yeah,
Wicked
there's lots of
Spider
stuff.
Black says, "Hi everybody, happy Monday, happy Monday." Gonky, have you ever seen a fire on the ship?
Have you never
The-
seen fire on? Oh,
I read it correctly using context clues.
Can we
You
just
just-
make me normal size now? Because you're freaking me out a little bit.
Here, Gonky's the one being asked. He's
Okay.
on the spot here.
no, I haven't, Renee.
Oh, St. Elmo's fire. This is back when we were talking about St. Elmo's fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, I've never.
You never
seen
saw it in a Hornet? Man, your nice deployments you went on with blue skies. And
I was
Tom
busy. I was in
Seaforth.
combat, dude. I was too busy, like in the delivery dive, like you
trying
know.
to
I
land.
think the smoke from the 20 millimeter was ruining the.
You sure that wasn't the smoke from your brain trying to figure out how to operate the Hornet?
That's behind me, dude. That's behind me.
Renee also says we missed you, Wombat. Did you get lost?
I did. There was a beef. There was a pretty strong beef. So obviously, so yeah.
Renee
you can't
also
put
says
3 alphas in the room and
I'm whatever the new one is. What's the new one? Omega
Beta?
or something? No,
Beta.
Omega. It's like there's a new word that it's all
the kids are saying.
the kids are saying these days. Like you're Sigma. No, I don't know. It's like you're a
You're gonna
loner,
say
but you're
something
awesome.
that's.
Isn't it
Is that what it is?
Is it boomer?
I'm probably gonna say something sexual here in a minute.
Yes,
Gundam
you will.
Blade says, "Hello, Wombat. At least your character is married
What?
in your book, your nonfiction
know.
book about
Oh,
yourself."
yeah.
And evening
now, yeah.
mover Gonky. Doug, we have not talked to you yet, and we skipped you all last week. Hello.
Oh,
Now that you guys are paying me, you don't have to pay attention to me anymore.
wait, you're getting paid? Hold on a second. Can we cut real quick and renegotiate, please?
Volunteers demand attention.
That's why
Doug,
you're center stage.
Doug unionized.
Wombat.
He unionized.
Yeah,
And came after us.
I'm a union of one.
That's right.
Yeah. Can I get in on that union?
Thomas says, new idea for Gonky's kids book. Where's Wombat? I like it.
There you go.
Wombat's he's in my latest book.
Is Mover?
Yeah, yes, you are my latest book.
Why'd you have to think about it that long?
No.
Catch up brain, bro. We've been over this.
If Wombat is ever not himself, I'm unsubbing. Thanks, Griff.
Perfect.
John says,
Subscribe for life.
watching Gonky's face of discomfort when Mover brokered the conversation about Starlink is classic. Plus, he gave you $10 towards your divorce lawyer.
There you go.
It would take a lot more than $10.
You only get $4 of that, and then you'll probably come out with half. So $2 towards your divorce lawyer. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then Aaron, so we're doing the Gonky Internet Fund again. Welcome back, Rattler.
The Gonky Internet Fund. Oh, man.
Do it.
I don't
Dude,
think
you're-
that's ever stopped.
Your screen looks so realistic. I feel like I'm watching like Telemundo or like a
What, Wombat screen?
yeah, dude. It looks
very
like
clear.
I'm watching a soap opera.
It's very clear. Dude.
It's
A lot
very
of people
clear,
say
dude.
that in my life.
Is that your computer camera or is that external?
No, it's external. It's the one
Yeah.
Mover told me to buy.
Oh, geez.
So
Mover never told me to buy a camera.
that's because he knows you don't know. You'll ask him how to operate it.
Well, that, and I know that Gonky will try to find one from eBay from 14 years ago.
It
It'll
still
have
has
a crank
life
on the
left in it.
side.
360p.
Hides the
So
wrinkles.
true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Oh, here we go with that again. Jeez, Gonky.
Oh boy.
You missed
Hey,
it,
how's
Wombat.
your-
Gonky's full
I
in the
wouldn't
midlife
say I
crisis
missed
mode.
it.
No, I'm not.
Dude, Gonky's been in midlife crisis mode since I met him at API. Like, that hasn't changed. He drove a Camaro IROC. The
No,
minute you buy
I
a
mean-
Camaro IROC, you're in midlife crisis mode. I don't care if you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I was 19, I think.
Yeah.
Mover, what's coming up for your channel? I don't know.
You just
Any
did
video
one. I
game
saw
reviews?
something.
I'm going
Because
to
when I-
review a Meta Quest 3 because I've had to get one for out of necessity so that I can
What is
use,
that?
use my rocking chair. It's a VR headset.
Oh, cool.
My Pimax gave up the ghost.
Hey, I reached out to Mike. He's got his DCS set up in Picola, so maybe Mover and I can do some.
Maybe if I start asking the wife now, she'll let me go in July.
Oh, dude, listen, she don't need to know DCS is there. I'm just going to visit a friend.
Does she watch this show? Am I in trouble?
Yeah, she does watch it sometimes.
Son of a... I thought she didn't
dude,
watch.
Even better, her dad watches it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, no. You
My
could have
brother-in-law.
warned me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could have
it's more-
warned me.
I just did. It's more fun this way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So when I see him here in 3 or 4 days,
Wow.
Well, it's going to be the Mover and Wombat show here in a little bit
Probably.
because Gonky's no longer allowed to come out and play.
or I'll be allowed to buy all the things I've always wanted to buy.
Just no money to buy them.
Just no money to buy it. You know?
Only half.
Half. Yes.
Hey, let's talk about some topics or something. You want to do that?
Sure.
Oh, we're doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gonky, you wanted to talk about
What do we got?
Trump gets
Oh,
fighter
yeah,
escorts.
dude. This is pretty cool. Have you seen this WOMBAT?
Nope.
Doug, do you have it pulled up?
Zero prep out of this guy for every
Nice.
show. You know
Make it huge.
Make it large.
I
So he
can't find
doesn't-
that option for that one.
Just double click it.
Really?
See if that does something.
that.
Yeah, it starts and stops it.
Well, let's see.
Zoom in. Zoom in.
I can
Use
do that.
your
Hang on.
enhance.
Yeah, so Trump went to the middle.
Is
oh,
that a
look at dude.
flyby for ants?
Look at that. What are
I forgot
those?
what this is.
Eagles?
What's that guy
That's
doing?
he's the taking the pictures.
Is he
Just
the
when you see
dude? Oh, or is it another like
Yeah.
Fat Amy that got lost and ended up in front of him?
The heading bug says go this way.
Here's the one guy that's late. He's
No, I
just
think-
trying to haul ass to catch up to him. All right, back
It
it
was
up.
just
Let's-
a Thunderbird trying to get in there on the show. That's all.
There's
it
a
was.
bird.
So-
That's pretty wild, man. Eagles,
Dude.
I think Mirages.
pretty good formation too.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. That's
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that if they were out of formation, they'd be deported immediately. So look, you're done.
Not in Qatar.
Well, yeah. So he went to Saudi. They gave him a Eagle escort, Saudi Eagles, and then Qatar gave him also Eagles and Mirages.
And,
So
and just
look at that, man.
we're sure that this was all planned and not because he just showed up unannounced that they were actually scrambling fighters.
No, dude.
Yeah. Read what it says on the side. It says United States of America. What does that mean?
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
is
They're like,
What's-
oh crap, get more planes, make it look like this was deliberate.
No, they're probably like, dude, that's a classic. Somebody give him a somebody give him a Dash 8.
We'll buy him a new one.
Somebody
we're
give
waiting.
him.
We're waiting.
Yeah. Hey, so dude, my thing is I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty surprised that
They allowed it.
yeah.
Dude, look at the
So-
leading edge.
Yeah.
Is that the
Where they're-
flats are out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going slow.
They're going really slow,
Real slow, dude.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
yeah. Here's the Qataris.
They're kind of in a gaggle.
Yeah. Well, dude, they're pulling away because Air
'Cause
Force
he's
One
going too slow.
seems to be landing. They're
I'm gonna have to.
Where's
Look
the
at that,
Hawkeye?
man.
That's all I have to say, man. You put a Hawkeye there. No, this
Do they have a Hawkeye?
I don't know. There's
This
always
is
a
straight
Hawkeye
out of
in the
DCS,
Persian
dude.
Gulf.
This map exists in DCS. I wonder if anybody's tried to reenact this.
That's cool, man. I don't know, Mover. Like I said, I'm surprised they allowed it. I mean,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, Air Force One always has a U.S. fighter detail that follows them,
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
I mean, in the movie Executive Decision, it did. It gave up their.
Well,
Good
I mean,
enough for me.
Well,
like
I
that eagle
landed-
flew right in front of the missile. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. That was exceptional flying, by the way.
From an eagle,
I-
not a hornet.
I flew in Ellington Field in a
Super
Hornet
Super
once.
Hornet when Maverick did it in Top Gun Maverick. So
Yeah, but that was for another hornet, not the president.
Not the president, yeah.
okay, I'm pretty sure that Tom Cruise would have done it also for the president. But there's no way a
we'll never
747
know.
is going to be able to make that
Well-
low level.
Ness will never know.
So I flew in Ellington Field in a Hornet once, and there was a whole gaggle of eagles there, and that it was because the president was visiting Houston.
I wonder if they're with him or they're just on alert near. like when he's flying, because I've never seen them escort.
Are we going to jail, Gonky? Is that what you're trying to do here?
No, we're having a wait. What are we doing?
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just.
Gonky's trying to say the secrets of something to get us in jail.
No,
Please don't.
I'm just surprised that they let foreign. Not that there's anything. I mean, I'm just surprised that they allow foreign fighters that close to.
Send all your hate mail from Qatar.
Pretty sure this was pre-coordinated, Gonky.
Of course it was, dude.
I'm pretty sure, like, that there were some levels of approval, perhaps even the man himself.
Well, obviously, but
he may have even requested it.
I think we all know he did.
Yeah,
we need more fighters.
All of the fighters, everyone, all of the fighters that you have.
Obviously, Air Force One high value asset. Just like remember in the carrier, man.
It'll be the most beautiful flyover ever.
It was pretty nice.
Time. Everyone would love it.
Be huge. But I mean,
great.
But WOMBAT, remember, dude, with the carrier, the thing was nothing. You have to have a U.S. asset between the carrier and whatever's flying at you, a bear or whatever.
Ever gonna take? Oh, I'm in plenty of bear photos between me and the Stennis. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is like if they care about an aircraft carrier that much, you would think. I don't know. I think it was. I think it's awesome. I was just really surprised that they did it.
Here's the thing you have to factor into your analogy, though, right? The aircraft carrier is run by a battle group commander, which is what, a 2-star, right?
Have Donald
so
Trump
no, hold on. So and the ship itself, the air wing are run by 06s, Navy captains, right?
You're typing.
So of course their policy is going to be to make sure, because the 06 doesn't want to get fired by the 2-star that then gets fired by the 4-star. This is Donald Trump. Like, he didn't care. Like, nobody's firing him, right? He's like, yeah, bring them all in, boys. I want this to look good. So that's the difference, I think. Like, that's not to say that there wasn't a massive.
I think it's awesome.
Amount.
I think it's awesome.
It's really cool.
It's really
and
cool.
they're all slicked out anyway. None of them
a lot
have
of American
weapons.
jets.
Yeah, none of them have weapons on them. Right?
And we got a free 747-800 out of the deal.
Well, it's because they felt sorry. It's like, dude, that's an old classic.
It's all clapped out. They're like, ooh. Hey, we got this.
Those are Boeing jets in there, right?
Except for the Mirages.
Maybe this was part of the negotiation. You called an X-fighter, the F-47. I let you do a flyby with your Boeing jets. Done. That's a negotiation.
Maybe, dude.
When we see the new 800, because I'm sure it's going to be taken apart about 16 different ways while they look for bugs and other recording devices.
They got Air Force One spec it, whatever that means. I don't know.
It means gut it and sweep it and make it somewhat worse, basically.
That is, dude, Air Force One, like
military grade.
Even the top of the wing is like polished, right? That's like the nicest. Like
it's not speed taped.
No.
Where Gonky comes from, it's all speed tape.
Yes, most of the fuselage is speed tape. So,
that's why
it's good as reflective.
Yeah,
this is good.
Great, it's good. All right, we're having fun.
Well, that was a cool flyby. Yeah, we're having fun.
Thank you for your service. Great show as always, guys. Is Airwolf flying again? Not yet. I haven't glued the frame back. You missed Airwolf, dude. I flew it.
I saw it on your channel, and you broke it. And I made a comment on your thing. I said,
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You watched it?
Wait. I don't have a YouTube channel that's worth anything. Can you tell who watches your videos? No. Then yeah, I watched them all, dude. I watch every one.
This briefing is from file A56-.
You've seen that?
I have. Yeah, I did see that.
Okay. All right.
I did.
Very important.
As far as you know.
Thomas says $5 for a Luna appearance. Come here, girl. Keep doing
Dude,
this.
careful with that. That's a slippery slope there, Thomas.
Only pause.
Thanks. I mean, money's money, right? $20.
Especially now. Oh, dude.
Tariffs.
Been on a spending spree. Plexi says we are way overdue for another Mover versus Gonky digital combat simulator battle royale.
Yep. Yeah, I think maybe when I get back from the north, we'll make it happen. Be fun.
You promise?
Yeah, I do promise. It'll be fun.
Okay.
I'll probably lose.
Kim Jong-un, North Korea is best Korea. The Hero fighter pilots, you come visit. We have kimchi and good time. Gonky #1 pilot. Long live glorious A-10 F-35 number 10.
Oh, dude, that's
I love kimchi. I'm in.
Dude, you know, as many
Kim
famous
Jong, I
people-
love you.
Oh God.
That's a joke.
Yeah, that'll get clipped. Make that the short for the week.
Did you not go to Sear, Gonky, where they told you not to do that?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Did I pay? I was
Catch up
hungry.
brain.
I was
Catch up
hungry.
brain.
I was frozen, dude. I didn't. Yeah.
I bet. Let's talk about Sear for a minute. Could you imagine Gonky at Sear? Like, I don't know if there's ever
was
been a
cold.
bigger, more muscular, whiny dude go through Sear than Gonky.
I didn't whine, bro. I did not
Right.
whine.
Did you go with him?
Right. No.
Y'all go together?
I do you went to San Diego, right?
What is Navy Sear even like?
Terrible.
Dude, terrible. I went through Maine on my start date was January 2nd.
Do you swim around?
Oh, it's cold, dude.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
You
they're like,
swimming?
"Hey, good news, guys! You also got cold weather survival training." And I was like, "Is that required?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Cool, cool."
Yeah, I went
it was
November,
miserable.
dude. I went November, and it's up in the mountains. in
I heard
California.
it gets cold there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we were there's it's
and
like
there's swings in the temperature. Like it was just pure cold in Maine. The whole
so like in the military, like I remember in Lemoore, they're like, okay, we turn the heat on this date and we turn the air on this
Yeah.
date. And they don't. There's
Right.
no consideration for the actual temperature outside. Well, that's how they do the cold weather gear for SEER school. So
Yep.
we didn't have it yet, and it snowed. So I
Yep.
was in my underwear, like getting hit with the hose, and it's snowing. So it
Yeah.
was terrible. So yeah, it was
Oh,
not
those
fun.
were the
but-
days.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Man.
Okay.
good.
All right.
What about Air Force Sear? How was that? You used to play a lot of golf, or what's that?
Well, they take away your golf cart.
So you got to walk it, and
Walk
it's.
the
I heard
whole course.
it's. I
Mhm.
heard you have to walk the whole course, and it's only bunker shots.
You have
So
to
it's
use
really
rental
rough.
clubs.
Rental clubs.
Ah,
That's rough,
horror.
man. I mean,
Man,
Yeah.
it's giving me
thank you
flashbacks.
for
I
your
can't even.
service. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
This
before it
is
gets
too soon.
Sorry. Sorry.
I don't really want to talk about it. Hawkeye says, realize Mover Ruins movies is hit or miss, but how about Strategic Air Command with Jimmy Stewart? Also, Wombat, can you sign the book in honor of my father, Richard Bulldog Walker, USS Kitty Hawk?
I will do that if you put it in the email, so I remember. But I will do that.
Write it down, dude. Don't be lazy.
Well, no, it's part of the order form. But if he didn't do that, I want him to just send me an email and make sure I know, and that way I don't screw it up. I value the guy's money for my book and the $20 and his name and his
I
dog.
treasure your friendship.
So
Doug, not our Doug, but a different one, a $2 Doug, says, confirm Qatar is a small country.
that's funny. Oh man.
no comment.
Kim Jong-un, North Korea is best Korea, says, if the Saudi pilots screwed up, it could literally be their heads.
Yeah, probably.
Valid.
Kim Jong-un, North Korea is best Korea, says Gonky. Heart.
See,
You're getting a visit Monday, dude.
marketing.
Dude, I'll tell you, man, I know it's been a while since I've been on the show, but your viewers have really expanded. Like quite a lot. And
Yeah.
that's
Wait
good.
till we get to the mental health minute.
dude. Honestly, I am shocked at like the people that actually watch. This
I know.
show.
I always forget people watch this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think it's just us three, and maybe some friends and family there. In the
I
chat, but,
recommend
like,
against it too.
Kind of it kind of ruins the show.
But
Like it's
people
more
watching?
fun when you just think it's the three of us, because you're like, there's no way. Sorry, Doug. There's no way that my boss might see this.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you what
yeah.
I think about policies and procedures. And then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh.
Let me tell you about the picture I took at cruise altitude yesterday.
video. Continue.
Video.
No, nothing. You did nothing.
I know I didn't do anything. You're putting words in my mouth.
We didn't even say you spoke up. I
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
even-
you actually said it. It's not putting. We were trying to take the words out of your mouth. Is what we were doing.
Brian says they've been trying to give that 800 away for a while. I think they gave it to Turkey, who returned it, and it's been on the market for 5 years.
Nice.
Try to do that with an
Nice.
old mattress.
That's it. The mattresses in the 800 are. That's why.
Yeah.
No, I don't want this jet.
Lumpy. Yelcy 816 says, cheers from some basic CRC class fun. Love y'all from a Camp Slappy survivor, aka Soft CRC.
Oof.
Say that
Yeah.
3 times fast. Soft
That
CRC.
dude,
Soft
that
CRC.
dude looks like somebody who was my SEER school instructor. Like, look at that picture. That's amazing. That beard. Like,
Yeah,
Good
Brennan
for
would
him.
like to know if we're actually going to do some of the work we've promised.
what? Oh, is this not good enough for you?
Touch my
Brennan?
drum set, Brennan. Gonky. Speaking of President Trump,
Yes, we're gonna build all the fighters.
Oh boy.
the Super Raptor
Yeah,
and the F-55 Super Fat Amy already
She
covered
needs a
this.
Zempic.
on Glorious Mover channel. Go on with your data.
yeah. So, dude, so he said a lot of things, right? So yeah, the F-22 is getting an upgrade.
Breaking news from Gonky. Trump said a lot.
Trump
of things.
says a lot. Next question.
Well, so there's a clip of him. It's what is it, like a 4-minute clip, and he
We don't have that kind of attention span here.
yeah. Well, I watched it. Anyways, dude. So Raptor's getting an upgrade, but everybody kind of knew that. That's nothing special. So is the F-35. I mean, any airplane, even 4th-gen airplanes, as they went through their life, get upgrades. So
Sure.
you can call it a super or whatever. But and then the intriguing thing was he talked about the F-55 and all like a new fighter, a different fighter. And then he even mentioned a twin engine F-35, which so I think the F-55 is actually because he already announced the F-47 for the Air Force. I think the F-55 is probably going to be the Navy jet, most likely, maybe a Navy Marine Corps jet. And then the twin engine F-35, dude, that one has me a little bit lost because you can't just, I mean, you can, but it's pretty major deal to, slap another engine on an existing airframe without completely redesigning the airframe. So did you see that, Wombat, when he was
No.
talking about that? Yeah.
No. That
He did speak the truth when he said, one engine airplanes are no
yeah,
bueno.
no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Breaking
So-
news. 2 is better than 1 in aviation.
When it comes to engines, I would
Yeah,
agree.
not people in the plane. It's the opposite. It's 1's
Yeah.
better than 2 in that case, but
Yeah,
everybody
so,
knew what I meant there.
so that's what I think, Matt.
So we're just gonna shove another engine into Fat Amy, plump her up a little bit more, and she'll be good to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll fix it.
So I was reading up about some comments that people had about adding another engine to F-35, and I guess the whole reason why both the Boeing and the F-35 design, well, one of the major reasons that they were built with one engine is because of the Marine vertical takeoff requirement. So if that wasn't in there, which it should have never been, my opinion only.
Yeah. There's no reason you need to build $1 billion airplane to go land in some field so some Marine could fill it up with fuel. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, and
It's
then
always been stupid. The Harrier's fine, but this is
so, and then the Chinese know this. So the Chinese it looks like they've already built the 2-engine F-35, as Doug just put that up. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think the F-55 is going to be the Navy jet, which I'm surprised it has taken this long to announce, because
It still hasn't been announced.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised it has taken this long for the official announcement. Like, who's going to build it? Maybe some details about it, if there are any details out there about it. But I mean, I don't know, man. All I know is all of these. If it's fighter is in the program, dude, it's expensive and it's going to take a long time. So, good on him for wanting to modernize and advance, air power, because I think that's vital. But dude, I don't know. I think we'll be older men when they finally come out.
I think the issue with this is that it's ridiculous that we just got something new and it needs to be upgraded. Like, that talks to how long it takes to get these things out. It's like you need there needs to be less red tape, and this needs to just be less people worried about their post-military careers and all that stuff. And it needs, and contracts and bureaucrats and politicians, like it needs to be war fighting again, and cut out all the BS and get the things out there and then work on the next thing. Don't take 5 times as long to get it out there. And then when it's out, you're like, oh dude, that's actually kind of outdated now. Like, well,
the
put 2
procurement
engines on it. Like, it's just,
yeah, no, our you're right, dude. Our process of designing and fielding airplanes specifically is I think it's broken.
yeah.
Or it's definitely takes way longer than it should,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
but I
for
think
sure.
a lot of these mods, like, it's funny, people think that they're, when you say like a super F-22 or F-35, a lot of people do envision like, oh, it's going to look awesome. But dude, most of these airplanes, it's software stuff, right? I mean, beeps and squeaks kind of things that you just would never know. I've said it before, like, you take the F-18A that me and Mover flew and park it next to a brand new Block 3 E model Super Hornet, and most people probably wouldn't even know the difference, right? But they're like wildly different airplanes, because underneath the skin, is where all the magic happens. So
Yeah, one of them is really not draggy and a great fighter, and the other one's a Super Hornet.
valid. But dude, I'm telling you what, man, having, like I said, I've never flown Block 3, but the latest jets that I flew 10, 12, 13 years ago were amazing machines, and they're even more amazing
Sure.
now. So even though they're not as fast to maneuver, I'll give you, I prefer the Legacy jet for funsies.
Yeah. Slick jet, big motors, Charlie model all day long.
Mover.
So there's a couple takeaways that I think you missed, because I covered this on the old channel, in case you're wondering. So Trump talked about, do we want to play that, Doug? Did you have that? Sorry,
I got to go find it again. Hang on.
Never mind. Okay.
He's
fine.
busy typing.
He's chicka.
Got it. Here goes.
Nice.
We're going to see that, but one of the things for the people that are interested in the military that I asked to look into, the F-35, we're doing an upgrade, a simple upgrade, but we're also doing an F-55. I'm going to call it an F-55, and that's going to be a substantial upgrade, but it's going to be also with 2 engines, because the F-35 has a single engine. I don't like single engines. Even this man, he's the best in the world at engines, but on occasion, I know you won't admit this, if an engine goes out, it's nice to have 2, 3, or 4. That's why I like the
This is
7.
Gonky. Straight out of Gonky's mouth. He watches the show and hears
So they
Gonky
get it
ranting
very
all
big.
day.
It's a little more cost saving to have 2 very, very big ones. But no matter how good, they tell me the engine will never go out.
I agree with the man there.
It goes out on occasion, very rarely. And we're going to do an F-55. And I think if we get the right price, we have to get the right price. And that'll be 2 engines and a super upgrade on the F-35. And then we're going to do the F-22. I think the most beautiful fighter jet in the world is the F-22, but we're going to do an F-22 Super, and it'll be a very modern version of the F-22 fighter jet. And I don't know if you know it, but you know who copied it? China. They copied it. I said, I'm looking. They said, that's the F-22. They copied our design. But they won't be able to copy our engines too quickly or anything else. So we're going to be doing an F-22 Super. And this will be a plane like no, to me, it's the most beautiful fighter jet ever made. And so I want to do that. And
So, Gonky, this sounds a lot like the Super Hornet, right? Where they wanted to sneak a new fighter into the budget, but we're just upgrading. It's an EF versus it's really not, like they could be 2 separate airplanes.
They are.
There has been talks, some of the other stuff he's talked about. There's a little confusion about whether they're talking about reopening the F-22 assembly line and actually creating a super F-22. So it would be like a B model or a C model. And then also for the F-35, remember we did this. We did an article about this where Lockheed said, you know what? We lost NGAD, but we're going to take all the technology that we figured out in that process and we're going to upgrade the F-35. So I think that is just announcing what we've already covered. And then the F-55 is either, you're right, it's the precursor FAXX, or, they're talking, take an F-35, redesign it with 2 engines. Now you have something, because they've done this with like the EX, right? The EX doesn't, it's got digital flight controls. It's same body, but there's a lot of guts that are completely different of these aircraft. And so some of this is driving conversations and driving, kind of another bidding war to try to get stuff out there. And some of it is he's hinting, for example, one of the things we know about the F-47 is the engines, right? The engine tech is like leaps and bounds above. And he talked about, you're going to have the best engines. We're not going to be able to copy it. Well, you take the engines out of the F-47 and take that to a Gen 5.5. And now you've got, a small order, because the chief of staff also put out this graphic about they're going to have 185-ish of this NGAD. But, if you had your 6th gen day one of the war, Gen 5.5, Gen 5, and then the EX, Gen 4.5, now you can start to see this picture of air power over the next 10, 20, 30 years. It's ambitious. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I agree with you. I think the main takeaway is we're talking about aviation and upgrading our military, which is something we've desperately needed for a long time, because we've gotten stuck in the putting all our eggs in one basket, and look what it's cost us and look where it's gotten us. Because not only is it a matter of having, more aircraft that are good for national defense, but it's also pilot readiness and training. Because when you only have a few aircraft, remember we saw this, against the F-22 and 5th gen, dude, these pilots weren't flying enough. You need a diversity of fleet, and you need a bunch of them so that pilots stay proficient, fly more, get better at tactics. And then when it's time to, the balloon goes up, it's time to go to war, sharp tip of the spear. But I don't know. What do you think, man?
Yeah. All valid, dude. I think probably one of the biggest mistakes they made was only making, they make 187 Raptors. Originally supposed to be 1-for-1 with the Eagle, and that would have
800 something was the original buy. But that was a political, say what you will politically, which we're not trying to get political here, but 20 years ago, or has it been 20 years? Probably less than 15 years ago. Yeah. When we're
2010, right?
When we said, hey, no more F-22, shut down the assembly line, that was a mistake. Colossal. That cost air power for where we are now. When we put all our eggs in the F-35 basket, that was a mistake. That put us in a situation that we're in now. When we didn't develop a light CAS platform to replace the A-10, that was a mistake. We've made these errors that have gotten to this position where you and I have flown in situations. Dude, 3 years ago, our squadron shut down and they had no place to put qualified fighter pilots.
Right.
Like, that's a first world country with that kind of problem. So that's the kind of stuff that I think that if you hold their feet to the fire and get these contracts going, you can create a good Air Force with new stuff. We shouldn't be flying 20-year-old aircraft. We should be flying, maybe 5 to 10 years at most.
Yeah. And more importantly, there needs to be airframes for training, man, because, people always talk about how expensive these airplanes are. But when you brought up a great example, we had a whole squadron full of 15 to 20 plus year fighter pilots with tons of experience. How much did that cost the taxpayer? And it walked.
I wrote a letter about it.
Oh, I know. I know. But it walked
well, but I wrote a letter about it.
Dude, it walked right out the door. We're talking, the taxpayers have lost, millions and millions and millions of dollars in trained assets, people.
Yeah. Retention.
Yeah, exactly.
Recruitment. It's all tied together.
It is tied together. So something, F-55, 35 mods, 22 mods, all that stuff. These are all pretty big ticket, expensive, I think, programs. But dude, I support funneling money into that, so men and women have opportunities to train, because that's huge.
And look at what our adversaries are doing. China's not just sitting around going, you know what? We've got the J7. We're gonna fly
Right.
that thing until it falls apart. You know, they're out there flying, you know, the
Yeah.
J-20, J-36, the 3 engines, I mean, dude, they're not just hanging out.
They're not resting. Yeah. Well, the 20 years that we spent moving sand around, I mean, that costs a lot of money, and that refocused resources and planning. Well, let's spend a bunch of money developing a low collateral bomb. How about all that stuff. So
A concrete bomb.
right. That entire conflict didn't help things, that's for sure, because that was very expensive, and those are valuable resources that could have went to strengthening our military. I'm a big fan of just strength through power, man. I always hope my vision is the world's most menacing military that never has to fire a shot, right? So that's the goal. So
Peace through strength.
yeah. It's like last week, JT's idea of having the most savage drone squadron. I'm like, you want to be so scary. Nobody wants to mess with you.
Yeah. Wombat? Parting shots? No? Okay.
Promote and elect the wrong people, and you get these types of problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Davey says, hey guys, Wombat, did you do Advanced and Meridian? Can you talk about how that was? Gonky, you went to Kingsville, right? Kingsville versus Meridian?
Kingsville versus Meridian is like comparing the two kids that sit furthest back on the short bus. Like, it's not like they're both are in not awesome places in the country. They're designed for pilot training. The biggest difference is if you eject in Kingsville, you're going to get mauled by a wild boar. But if you eject in Meridian, you're probably going to get attacked by a crocodile or alligator or whatever. I mean, it's just it's the same syllabus. I think. I don't think there's really anything different. I will say, because Gonky and I went through Kingsville, I taught in Kingsville, and then I further on taught in Meridian. I think Meridian, vibe-wise, was a little bit more chill, and the reason I think that is the same reason that West Coast squadrons tend to be a little bit more chill than East Coast squadrons, and it's because they're further from DC. Meridian is further from Corpus, which is where Sinatra actual is. So, but the syllabus is exactly the same, and now when we went through, the jets were the same, but then for a time there, they were different. Like when I was an instructor the first time, Kingsville had A's and C's, and I think Meridian was all C's at that point, I think.
Yeah. When I went through, the only, like Wombat said, same syllabus. Actually, when I went through, Meridian had all C model. Yeah, and they had T2s. They were still doing T2s, but they also, their T45s were all C models and ours were A models. But
A models, yeah.
But I mean, it was the same.
But now it's all the same. It's the same. The only place that buys T45s that's different is Pensacola, because they teach backseaters and everything about that is different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're close enough.
All right. Luna Treat Fund.
Nice.
Hawkeye.
Luna's hungry.
Is that last?
Hawkeye won the lottery. He's just throwing dollars everywhere.
Dude, Luna.
She started talking about Navy stuff. She's out.
Yeah.
Luna's like, is this show over yet?
Yeah. We're all thinking it, Luna. But anyway.
Wow. Wow. Jared says, thoughts on F-35 with 2 engine? Is it Fat Amy that lost 100 pounds is taking selfies in the mirror in activewear?
No, I think it's going to look fatter. Right? I mean, you put 2 engines on it.
J-35 looks
good. J-35 is...
We're going to copy them now. Like, it's our turn to copy them.
Isn't that wild? We've come full circle, man.
Yeah, we've come full circle to the back.
Because that's probably why he thinks that more engines is better, because he saw that 3-engine Chinese thing. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. All the engines.
I agree, man. I like 2 motors.
Yes, agreed.
I've needed the other motor. Like, so I'm living proof, man, that like 2 engines are better.
Yeah. In every plane I've ever flown 2 engine other than the current one, I've needed the other motor.
Right.
So.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Especially in the Navy.
A couple times in the T45, I needed very close to the other motor.
You needed the other engine.
Fortunately, I was sitting on it and I didn't want to use that. But yeah.
Hawkeye says, Gonky Internet Fund. LOL.
Thanks, Hawkeye.
Melvin says Andoril has an AI fighter. That's on our list.
We're getting
We'll get
there.
to it. MJ says go arounds are for quitters is the demotivational book we need, but not the one that we deserve. Welcome back, Wombat. Looking forward to your next book.
The demotivational book. I love it.
Dude, that's what I could do. You always
I
tell me
was
to do
gonna
the
say- yeah,
opposite.
dude, I was gonna say write a demotivational.
I could be do
Oh,
the
dude.
opposite. A
Dude,
mover
that has
story.
That has lawsuits like written all over it, dude.
Nah, whatever. You just put disclaimers. It's just
Just,
like this.
yeah, with all due respect, sir.
Maryland Air National Guard gave up the flying mission. Your opinions? That sucks.
Yeah.
it
They were
does.
bamboozled. They were A-10s. They're like, yeah, you're going to get these Vipers. And they're like, no, you're not. You're not. I wonder, though, if they're going to take care of those pilots and find them
Right.
jobs, or if they're just going to go,
Yeah, let all that talent walk out the door.
Probably. Probably.
not my problem. You get an F-35 and you get an F-35.
It's like I've heard that before, Mover.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Sky's the limit.
We're gonna take care of you because we care. Gosh,
Yeah.
so vivid.
It's getting a
Max
little
R
personal,
says, I
guys.
feel like
It
I'm on
is.
Oprah's show when she was giving away cars. You get a plane. You get a plane. Everyone gets a plane. Hey, I just did that.
That's true.
We lived it, real life.
We literally lived it.
Archeronian Rose says, more engine, better engine. In thrust we trust.
Yeah, I cannot argue with this.
Kentucky Man 30 says, 2 engines. 1 is good, 2 is gooder.
True.
Maximilian says, what music do you listen to while flying?
Whatever's on my 8-track
Queen.
that I put on my leg kneeboard car, right? Doug Masters style.
So, and was it Afghanistan? I don't know, dude. I think Afghanistan. Some of the missions were getting pretty boring because we weren't doing anything. So I literally did bring my, I think it was MP3 player, and I was listening to, dude. I just pop into my helmet there and listen to some Iron. I like Iron Maiden, so I was blasting.
I'll one up it. I could tell a story that I'm pretty sure that I can't get in trouble for anymore. If I can.
Cool. All
Who cares?
Did you
So,
blast it on the dome?
No. So I was an aircraft commander for about 2 weeks in the E2. And we're going up the boulevard. And we had our PRs rig up where the co-pilot, who may or may not be in a book or two, would take off his helmet. We'd put on, David Clark's, because we're not around the ship. And he would pigtail an MP3 player into his helmet, and we would broadcast it over the self-reporting net on the boulevard, so everybody could hear the music. So
Perfect.
And so whenever the Hawkeye was flying, we had some hard rock, classic rock that we were playing up and down the boulevard. And then to one up the story, and this is that moment as an aircraft commander where you're like, huh. And I'm pretty sure my mom's watching, so she's really going to appreciate this. But,
Hi, Mom.
so same co-pilot had a bet with one of the girls in our squadron, one of the NFOs, if he could fit into one of her dresses. And apparently he decided to do that in the cockpit. So he strips out of all of his survival gear and his flight suit and is putting on a dress next to me in the cockpit. And I had this moment over Afghanistan, 2006. And I'm like, what would my mom think if we crashed right now? And in the post-mishap report, it talked about how the co-pilot was not wearing his helmet and was thrown from the wreckage wearing half a dress. But the funny part of the story is if my mom's watching, she knows exactly who the co-pilot is, and she would exactly expect him to do this. And it was hilarious. So
There you go,
that's what we
thinking
did.
like a safety officer again.
I know. I'm
Isn't
like,
that
my
wild?
poor mother is going to read this like, what did Todd let them do? Like, I was bored. So, yeah. But yeah, we would play music over the boulevard until we got in trouble by some 2-star Air Force guy. It's like, you can't do that. It's a self-reporting net. And I'm like, well, we're
Does that
certainly
make
not
me
fighting
out
a
on
war
Gonky
here.
George?
So, also an Air Force thing. But anyway. So, yeah, that's what we would do.
That's a no.
No? Is it
No,
a
that's
civilian?
not it. That's
Is it
not
a
civilian
commuter type thing?
Civilian regional thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of them meowing on guard. I don't get it. I'm like,
Either.
who's listening to Guard? Just watch CPDLC. You don't need it. Anyway,
Yeah, it's like
so
those
that's my music
influencers
story.
that film themselves getting their clearance. It's like, why? You just do it on the box. What do you?
Yeah, I don't.
Not everybody, mover.
Not everybody. Some people still have to call on the radio.
Some people have to key the mic, dial in the free, get out my pencil. Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, they don't pay me enough for a pencil.
Nope.
There's not one right here. You can just pull out from the Marriott.
Dude, those cost money. They disappear quick.
Oh, that's true. And if you don't do a lot of overnights, there's nobody stealing hotel beds.
Borrowing.
Sorry. Acquiring.
Yes.
Renee says
Yeah.
Meridian big snakes.
Yes. I thought about that. I almost punched out of a T45 at night, and I thought about that because I had a main shaft bearing failure, and I thought I was going to have to shell out in the pattern. And I was like, oh, I don't like snakes, man. And there's some big ones around here. Damn.
Yeah, especially at night.
So, yeah, dude. That's when the bigger ones come out to eat the little ones, and I'm going to be hanging from a tree. So, yeah. That's why I didn't eject, because ejections are for quitters too. Just kidding.
Oh no.
New fighter, another Top Gun 3, says Wicked Spider Black.
Yeah, I wonder what airplane he's going to use in Top Gun 3.
Well, it can't be the Fat Amy because he can't do GPS.
No, exactly. I mean,
Can the F-47 do GPS?
well, it remains to be seen. Classified.
I know not, sir.
Hmm.
Everybody's buying books while I'm on the show. This is awesome. Let's keep this going. Buy those books.
Archerioni
email
and Rose says Tulsa F-35 Fat Amy, F-55 equals Thick Amy. I think it's Super Fat Amy.
Thick. No, you got to do that tongue. You really got to get in there.
Wow, so to speak, or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or not.
Pima Puma would like to know, I saluted the wrong dude on a cat shot last underway, and I can't stop thinking about it, waking up in the middle of the night cringing. How do I rectify this?
He can't. He's thinking about you too, and he thinks you're an idiot. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, your career's over. Just give up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go to the airlines.
Dude, you just do the 1,000-yard stare salute. I mean, that's what I
Yeah,
always do.
just,
Exactly. Peace out. Launch me on this thing.
did you do anything extra on your salute, or were you were just a plain saluter, weren't you?
Yeah. See you
Lame.
later. Grab my
That's so lame,
dude. Launch me. Come on. I got stuff to do.
Wait, what extra?
I would always
yeah.
do the
Do you
original Top Gun. I would do I still do it.
Oh.
I still do it in the sky bus. I do the wave off and give this the thumbs up. And people,
Oh.
believe it or not, people love it. No, go back and watch the documentary
Yeah, the first
from
one.
the 80s. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're
He
talking
does
about.
the double. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he
what I
does,
do.
Yeah.
That's what I do
No.
to this day.
Listen, man, I had a hard enough time remembering just the regular procedure. Like, I'm just not gonna muddy the waters.
Well, some of us were good pilots.
I-
We flew the mighty Hawkeye, and frankly, we're just killing time until we crashed. And you had to do fun things. So
I could go back in time. I'd try it.
if I know, you'd be a great Hawkeye pilot. You
No.
really would.
I mean,
No, that's a
the
lie.
thumbs up salute from
Yeah,
from the documentary Top Gun.
I did it every time. I guarantee. And they all laughed. They liked it.
Stephen Billings, who calls himself Air Godzilla.
Nice.
If you get given an honorary squadron membership, does it last forever or is it only for a set time? I got one from a Dutch Tiger squadron years ago.
I don't even know what that
we
means.
don't. Yeah, I guess we don't do that in the States.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, there's honorary squadron commanders and stuff.
Are there?
Really?
Yeah. mhm.
In the Air Force?
Yeah, I went to your unit, Mr. Director of Staff.
Hey, can you make me one? Make me one, dude.
You
That'd be awesome.
you are now honorary squadron
come up.
commander.
I want to be
Why?
sworn back in. I want to fight. What is it you guys fly?
You are
Nothing.
you're nothing. Yes.
A desk full of rubber. Anyway,
We do nothing
Well.
and we like it.
the Navy does not, as far as I know, give out honorary
I
squadron.
did 38
commanders.
evals the other day, man. It took me a whole day.
What?
Yes, 38.
He's saying that for
When
legal
did-
reasons.
When do you retire? Soon?
TBD, bro.
Dude, just quit already. You've been doing it your whole life. Why stop now? Come on.
Next mover.
You've served your country.
Yeah, I'm
Move
waiting
gonna
for
on.
you
say-
guys.
I'm
to
gonna
do
say
your-
something I shouldn't say.
Kim Jong
Yes.
Un, North Korea's best Korea, says we got human legs being found at Taylor Swift's house before we got production of the NGAD. Oddly
Yikes.
specific.
Yeah, that is very
Oh.
specific.
Keep Crazy Pete C130FE says in the Herc we propped up a laptop on the dash, wired it to into the intercom, and watched movies. I remember watching Airplane Over Iraq.
It's like our drive back from Key West.
Thank you for your
Airwolf.
service.
Airwolf. Yeah, thank you.
Johnny says, what would 90,000 pounds worth of thrust feel like in a fighter? Would it even be flyable?
It'd be awesome.
Ludicrous speed. Go.
I think,
Awesome.
I think it would feel like everything on the inside of your body.
Stop
coming out
preparing.
of
You're
the
always
exit of your
preparing.
body.
I wonder
It would
how,
be messy.
I mean, it's probably like a cat shower. I mean, I wonder how many pounds of thrust is
No.
behind this steam on a. You don't think so?
not 90,000 pounds.
I mean,
Are you
not. I
kidding
mean,
me?
not 90, but I wonder how much. I'm asking.
Johnny, do me a favor. Don't confuse Gonky with numbers and zeros. He'll get all it just gets jumbled up in his brain.
I like
well,
it. I mean, dude, you could go like hypersonic in the vertical.
Yeah. You cannot have enough. thrust.
Unless it was in Fat Amy, and you still wouldn't have a 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio.
They would just
You-
add more stuff to the old gal.
They would. Yes.
Yeah.
To
Well, they
feed
put
it,
all
we're
their
gonna
eggs
put
in her
external
giant
tanks.
baskets.
Yeah, it bingoes out after takeoff. It's just an Immelman to a flame out.
Perfect. Oh,
But it's a
man.
heck of a ride.
Yeah, it is a shuttle. It goes right to space. Heat Seeker says, scenario, you are touring a foreign airbase to raise goodwill when disaster strikes. Aliens have begun invading. What non-U.S. built design fighter are you jumping in to save humanity?
Whichever one's the fastest to get me away from the aliens. What do you mean save humanity?
Typhoon.
Yeah.
Typhoon.
First of all, there's a flaw in this scenario. In order to save humanity, you have to assume humanity can be saved. I think we're past that point. So
I'd still
I
like
want
my
something
free
to
flight
happen.
in the Typhoon.
That would be fun.
Yes.
What about Eurofighter? No.
It's the same thing.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the last time I
with the Gonkyism there.
listen, Wombat has had some
Wow.
cat shots mover. Wombat has experienced a
fine.
cat shot or two himself.
Wow.
So
Cat shot
but look,
brain affects them
Wombat,
all.
this is a real thing, dude. I mean,
What is the real thing?
cat shot brain?
No, it's
It's
not.
the real thing.
It's not.
All right. Well, I guess
Moving on.
I get you're right. The Eurofighter would be fun too.
It would be. Seems fun. I like the name.
I would fly the Fighting Falcon or the Viper.
Perfect.
Rob says, ever had a negative interaction with an enlisted E9?
What's that? A Master Chief in the Navy? Is it?
Mm,
Hold on.
Yeah, that's the top of
I
the
think-
food chain
yeah.
for the enlisted folks.
Yeah, it's E9. It's Master Chief, right?
Yeah, no, I've never had a negative experience.
Yeah, no.
No. With the senior chief, yeah, but not a master chief.
Senior chief, yes.
I've had a couple of seniors that it wasn't necessarily negative. It just wasn't the best.
Yeah,
It
senior
was, just,
chief.
it was just a misunderstanding.
I had a senior chief knock my Harley over with his truck, and I repaired it on my own dime, and I just gave him the receipt for the parts, and he told me that times are a little tough right now. I was like, all right, senior. So then I went to the master chief, and everything got fixed.
Yeah. How did he?
I
what
rode
did
the
he
hog.
do to knock it
I
out?
rode the
No, I
Harley.
remember the Harley.
Yeah, he came around the corner too tight, and he hit the foot peg and knocked it over.
Man, that's surprising because I would think with Harley build quality, it would just knock the foot peg off.
Yeah, well, it did. It did.
I didn't think
yeah.
it was bolted together that tight. Is my
Yeah.
point. Like,
Dude, the fun part was the guys, like I think I was the aircraft devo at the time, but the guys in the shop came up and like, sir, man, somebody just knocked your Harley over. I was like, nice one. I wasn't bored. They're like, no, seriously.
yeah. Ha ha, funny
Yeah.
joke. You're
No,
not
but
gonna
dude,
get me.
the Master Chief,
Oh, I
Master
bet.
Chief, dude, I tell you what, and they let me partake in the the education process that Senior received, and it was
It's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
it was,
they don't mess around.
no,
man.
it's
Like,
very professional.
Ooh,
Yeah,
no.
Master Chief was like, "Here's your money, sir," and he just turned to Senior Chief in his one-way conversation. And I just sat there. I was just like,
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, don't mess with Master Chief. Oh no, I learned that early.
I love
on.
Master
mean,
Chiefs, man.
Yeah, dude. I have always been like, I mean, I had my dad was enlisted in the Air Force, my uncle was enlisted, my sister, God bless her, she's a warrior. I mean, she started out at the bottom and made up to W3 warrant. I mean, she went the hard way through that. And I have all the respect in the world. I have never had an issue. And like I said, even the issues with the seniors were, they're having a rough day. They're dealing with stuff. It wasn't to me, but definitely not an E9. Those guys, dude, probably the other way around. If you went on a different show and asked the Master Chief if he ever have an issue with me, he'd probably be like, yeah, that guy's an idiot. Can't believe they give him airplanes. Like, you and me both. But
I, for one, thank them for helping us with the aliens.
What?
The Master Chief.
The Master Chief.
That's funny.
Master Chief.
Sure. Nice.
AA Ron says Trump said E2 pilots are the coolest pilots ever.
I think I heard that in there.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Neo Zimu Wang. Did you call OSI since I last time showed up?
I feel like there's a backstory here. That might not be worth $1.99.
He asked some questions last time.
Oh,
we're all going to jail. Jail it is, boys. Let's talk about Andural's Fury Fighter.
Fury Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, so in April, Andural Industries co-founder Palmer Luckey, what a name.
I know, man.
He showed up in flip-flop shorts and his Hawaiian t-shirt with a mullet and a goatee.
Yeah.
He always wanted a mullet, and now he's got one. But then why are we talking? Is this the article?
Yeah, dude, it gets it gets better.
It has to get better. It's impossible to get worse.
No, it gets better.
Anyway,
he's a billionaire, man. He can show.
They recently released. Scroll down to the stuff we care about, please. Or skip what? That's up. Yeah. They talked about the Fury. It's a collaborative combat aircraft designed to work in coordination with a manned aircraft. They work with General Atomics, develop and test CCAs that could become they are actually. They just announced this is. Did you get an old article, Douglas?
No, dude. They just so 60 Minutes just did a thing on this thing.
Well, they just announced the X whatever.
Who? Andre?
Yeah. They just
are we still live or is this just sorry?
No, movers.
I know. I'm kidding. Jeez.
No, wow. Dude. So this is their CCA, right? So it's the unmanned fighter, and it uses AI and drone technology. And this is like when Trump was talking about the upgrades to current fighters. I think this is part of the right. This is going to be part of some of the new capability, being able to, upgraded F-35s and F-22s, being able to work with fighters like the Fury, unmanned. Yeah, there he is.
What are we watching right now?
That's the Fury.
Brian Schimpf is the CEO and co-founder of Anduril, and he showed us Fury, their unmanned aircraft.
YFQ-44.
That allowed to see Fury.
It's a Viper. And they took the
this has
cockpit
been a super secret project for them. We weren't allowed to say where we saw it or where it's been built.
Nope,
but we
nope. Right. So anyway, collaborative combat aircraft is now moving forward, and that's who got it. It's funny because Anduril is doing anti-drone tech too.
Yeah.
So they're on both sides of this because last week we talked about their anti-drone stuff, and this week we're talking about their new drone.
Dude, that plane literally looked like an F-16 that AI took the cockpit off of, and it was a rendering. Like, that's real?
Yeah. So I watched the 60-minute clip on it, which is pretty cool, man. So the way they designed it, They made it to where there's nothing like super high, like each individual part's not super high tech. So like the example they use is the landing gear. They're like, it's super simple. You could make it in any machine shop in the United States, right? So they're trying to take, simple is better route, which I can appreciate, which probably would expedite things because complex things seem not to work so well. And then they were asking him a little bit, and this has been my fear as far as AI technology and drone technology. And, Palmer Lucky, he brought up a good point in that extremely powerful weapons now, they can't discern between like a school bus full of kids or a military target. But if you have AI technology in a drone, it can, right? So it's not always doom and gloom, which that was a bit of a different perspective on it. Because when I think of like, AI and drones, I think of literally like the T-1000
Yeah.
coming
Like,
after
we've
you.
seen this. We've
Correct.
seen this movie. It doesn't end well.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's funny. He did say he's like, in every single one of these things, there's an off switch. But I think in a panic they tried to pull the plug and it didn't work, right? So, but his case for the Fury, as a fighter pilot, I can appreciate it. He said, these will be out in front of the man fighters. Like the Fury's not designed to take the place of a man fighter. Is designed to enhance the lethality of man fighters in tactics that we haven't even developed yet. But, his idea was these things would go out in front of man fighters and maybe do like a depending on whatever the mission is, kind of.
They're bullet sponges. That's what they are. Potentially,
man. Or, hey, flesh out whatever, whatever tactic the bad guys were trying to use against you, so you can fight it. But I mean, I think we've talked about it in the past. I think it's the future. And I think that the upgrades that our current 5th gen fighters and stuff are going to get in these new F-47, 55, whatever. I think this is part of what's going to make them Gen 5.5 and 6 is the ability to use things like the Fury.
You're going to quarterback. You're going to be the digital quarterback of all the little minions. And
yeah.
Send them downrange to go do the work. I mean,
yeah, and he kind of used that analogy. He's like, now you got one pilot, he can control, his airplane, maybe a couple other airplanes. But what if that one highly trained, skilled pilot could control 20, 30 airplanes, right? It's a force multiplier. So he didn't say how much it was going to cost, but
why don't we focus on getting that one highly skilled pilot first? Like, why don't we go back to basics on this and focus on that?
That's in the cards.
We're not even doing that right now. We're cutting training. We're not cutting funding, but we've been cutting training. Like, let's focus on that, right? Like, let's not worry about, dude, you remember in a very basic F-18 Charlie, how busy you were. Like, just take any mission set, dropping a JDAM. Like, remember how busy it was to drop a JDAM in any amount of time? Okay. So now I believe that generations past ours have gotten smarter. They're more tech savvy. I'll buy all that, right? So we'll give them a little bit of a multiplier there. But you're going to go from that amount of workload to now putting them in an F-35 or an F whatever, 163,000 or whatever the hell we name the next damn fighter. And they're going to be in charge of 30 aircraft. Like 30 aircraft? Like, come on, dude. Like,
WOMBAT, it's probably gonna be like guys like you in the E2 in the back, just like
I've seen those guys, and they're freaking amazing. And you know what? If you made them do it, it's going to be task saturated. That's my point. It's like focus on the basics. Like I feel like we've lost the fundamentals and the foundation, and we're trying to go and get this like amazing idea. You said it. Now you may have said it by accident, or maybe you meant it on purpose. But like they're developing technology for tactics we don't even have. And it's like, how about we focus on technology for the tactics we do have that we can actually do instead of worrying about tactics we don't even know yet? It's like, slow your roll, man. Like you could have the coolest tech in the world, but if they could sneak in your back door and take you out, it doesn't freaking matter. So it's like, I feel like these tech people, and I'm not knocking tech. Like I like gadgets and things like that. But I feel like they're in this like, well, we could do this scientific, and I watched this movie, and now I got this cool haircut and goatee, and I really wanted to make. And it's like, whoa, dude! Like, have you ever been in war? Have you ever fought? Like, have you actually been there in a combat environment where like your brain matter is mush because you're trying to get everything right, and now you're building tech that's going to allow me to do more? Like, dude, like there's a level, there's a point of diminishing returns on that. And when you get to a point where you're expecting a pilot or a group of people in the E2 or whatever to control 30 of these aircraft, it's like, that's a slippery slope, man, where it's like, we need to focus on training our aviators where we're at today and then expanding from there. That's just my take.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, but as I am painfully learning, for example, the boat, they no more, the future T-45 trainer doesn't even need to do FCLPs. And it's, I've spoken to fleet guys and they're like, yeah, landing on the boat's not a thing anymore. Like, because it's the technology that never fails, right? Makes it much easier. And like Mover and I did who's making that software, Mover? They put it in the F-16 to make the, make your flight controls much smoother.
Oh, Lockheed.
So, or Lockheed, yeah. Yeah, whatever flight control AI software, that thing would learn and like smooth out your flight control so you could like more easily gun people. That's what you want to do. So I agree with you 100% WOMBAT, but it is becoming painfully aware to me that things are rapidly changing, and it's exciting and scary. The future.
Well, it's scary because, dude, in combat, stuff goes backwards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so you could say like landing on a boat is not even a thing anymore. And you're like, wow, man, I remember when I was in, like, that was the thing. But when I was in, getting shot down on final wasn't a thing because technology wouldn't have allowed it. The people that were operating it wouldn't have allowed it, right? So here's my point here is now we've bridged this gap, and it's like, oh yeah, dude, I just put the thing on the thing and land. Or I go into a guns D because they're shooting missiles at me because some guy has technology that makes things better. You see my point? So it's like you always need those fundamentals, the blocking and tackling, the going back to the basics. You can't lose that because eventually you will be back there. And I could speak more. And I, as much as I give the Air Force a hard time on this, you guys deploy to some pretty egregious environments. So it applies the same. But like you take a Navy squadron and you put them on a steel ship in a salt environment in rough seas, like I don't care how good you make it, it's going to break. You need fail safes on these things. And to think that we could just keep going lightning speed and come up with like, oh, well, the next thing is the guy in the tanker overhead is going to be able to control the whole battle group. And it's like, dude, they had a hard time doing fuel calculations when I was in the fleet. Like, what has happened to where, like, look, I'm not knocking the technology. We just have to be careful to not be so reliant on it, because if it goes away, now you just have 30 flying pieces of FOD out there. And then it's like, well, does it come back on us? Now we can't tell. I mean, dude, a couple months ago, we couldn't tell who the Super Hornet was that had just tanked and came back to the ship. So how in the hell are we going to control 30 of these unmanned aircraft that we send out being controlled by some wizzo in the back of a super fat F-35 two-seater, right? I mean, dude, it's like,
Trump said nothing about two-seaters. He said
You heard
nothing.
it.
He said
You
two
heard it
engines,
here
not
first.
2 seats.
You heard it here first. 2 engines, 2 seats. I mean,
3 seats. Why not?
Three.
Just make them 3. They could
But,
sit.
I mean,
it could be like a Vic pilot, and then 2 sitting side by side behind him.
yeah.
That's all I'm
Dude,
saying is it's like there is
I
some
agree.
fundamentals we need to work on. And I do think we have to move forward with things, but I also think we have to be very careful because it's real easy to always be looking for the next thing. It's real easy. I mean, I have friends that have done it, right? It's like, what's the next thing in life? Oh, I can't wait. And it's like, they never enjoyed what they have. And with tactics and things, it's like, dude, you got to be like, we need to be the best at what we can do today. Are we there right now? No, I promise you we're not. So we need to focus on that. Do we also need to focus on the tech of the future? Of course we do. But if we can't even launch the planes or not shoot them down when they're trying to land, like, does it really matter what tech we have? That's what I'm concerned about. Plus, the dude's got a mullet, which is dope, but I don't need a mullet dude building my tech for, like, dude, a mullet guy, like, I want to be drinking some beers with, not having him develop my future fighter that I'm going to have to control 30 of while he's cashing in on the contract he got. That's the other thing that concerns me.
Mover, what do you think of the Fury, man? I mean,
I don't think I should be talking because apparently Charter has decided that 1 gig internet today is about.
Yeah. Why are you?
I've inherited Gonky's dial-up at some point, and I don't know how to fix it.
Use the mini.
I would have to go get it and plug it in. This is wired cable internet off an old ass infrastructure. Spectrum sucks. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a gig and it's running like crap right now.
Man, well,
I don't know what to say.
I thought you could. I thought it was a seamless swap to Starlink, sir.
No, it's not.
There you go. You're back.
No, I'm not back. I got the little thing that says your connection is unstable. Try moving closer to the Wi-Fi. It's plugged in. I can't get any closer. There's nothing I can do. Anyway, let's talk about the next thing. You guys have talk about.
Dude's got a sick mullet, though. That's for sure.
Watch this one. Have you seen this?
No, I don't prep for these shows. Why do you?
Just watch it. Just watch it.
What's a blackout button? If a missile can't be evaded using standard countermeasures, and the F-22 is in imminent danger of being hit, the pilot can hit the blackout button, and the aircraft will perform an evasive turn so hard that the G-forces will black out the pilot and return the aircraft to level flight, on autopilot a distance away while the pilot recovers. So, what
kind of... I had to watch the word I was going to say. What?
So,
so we're now purposely knocking out our pilots to save their flight.
No, it's fake. So like I do.
You don't say.
I wanted to bring this up because I do get little like clips and stuff like this from friends that they're like, "Is this real?" You know, like especially like clips from DCS and stuff. And I like, is he gone?
So.
There he is. There he is. So I just it's my plug for you cannot believe everything you see on the internet.
Have you seen that video of I think it's like a Sue something, but it's coming in to land on the ship and then it goes pure vertical?
That's what I'm talking about.
I've had people send me that like, dude, this landing's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're crazy.
Right.
Like you're crazy. That's like educated people.
Yes, that's
sent me that and think it's real.
Yeah. So people who put this stuff out,
the only blackout button the F-22 has is its OBOG system. Let's be honest. I mean, that's
too soon.
Sorry. Well, it's the truth though. Like there's
the Hornet has the same blackout button.
I know. So is T-45. Like So
it's probably built by the same people.
Yeah, contracts. They're great. They're great.
We got this off the shelf system we've been using for a while.
It literally fits in every one of our fighters.
Every single one of them.
Developed in China.
What would be the utility of such a system?
Of a blackout button?
Blackout button.
The only thing I could think of is I'm not going to feel it when I get killed. Like that's at least like, well, at least I'm knocked out. So when the missile crawls up my keister, I'm not worried about it. Like
maybe a distant cousin would be the auto GCAS system, right? Mover. It saves you from hitting the ground.
If anything, it would be like the paddle switch.
Yeah,
so
it's more
you can get all the G's.
But we never used that air to air. Like that was an air to ground. Like save yourself from the.
It's just some idiot that made something up. I mean, there's really no like you can't even explain.
The reasoning behind it.
How do you put human English words to something so ridiculous? You can't.
But sometimes people don't know, man. When I remember,
then why make a video?
Clicks. Well, no, because people are genuinely curious about military stuff. So I don't know. We had some DVs come out to the ship, and I was like escorting, showing them around. Not that I knew my way around the ship, but
that's why they let you do it. He's not going to give him any secrets.
We made our way up to the tower, and
we're lost. How did we get lost on this tour?
We made our way up to the tower, and everybody's like glued to the windows, looking outside. Flight ops going on. The one guy comes over, and goes, "Hey, man," he's like, "Seriously, what does that thing do? Like Mach 10?" I was like, No, actually,
Straight up.
Actually,
Straight
Jeans is right.
up.
He's like, what is it? I think you like Mach 10. I should have said, yeah, but
Oh, dude.
But-
See, that's where you left. Like, I loved when we would
People
take the
are
E2
curious.
to air shows, and they're like, what does the dome really do? And oh my God, I had so many answers. I'm like, well, it's its own UFO. We pop it off, it goes and does its thing,
Ultimate
comes
frisbee.
back. It's ultimate frisbee. The inverted sonar for submarines was one of my favorite one. You'd flip it over and put it in the water and have to fly upside down,
like a
Blue
trolling
Angel
motor.
style.
it is. It's a troll.
So yeah, if you can't mess with people, then you're not doing your job. Like,
I love the ones that would be like, hey, those 300, they'd see the 370s, the fuel tanks on the thing. They're like, those the bombs? And you're at an air show.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
like, don't touch them. Don't
Yeah,
touch them.
Don't touch my
Yeah.
stuff.
Could you imagine if one of those things was a bomb? My God,
Be a
dude.
big, big
That
bomb.
would be a big
Oh,
bomb. Whew. Yikes.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
was educational for no one. So
Well, somebody.
yeah.
This wasn't us.
Yeah,
All right. Hey, you guys see me? My back?
Yeah,
Dude, you're good.
you're like
Hey, did you
720
switch
right now.
to Starlink?
No.
Nope.
I should
And
have.
you're out. Oh, you're in. Oh.
Stop it. Mickey Rat says $5, but he gave $10 to save $5.
Wait. Yes.
Maybe it's
No,
maybe
that's
it's a score. Yeah, he gave 5. Out
that
of
good?
4. It's out of 4. I think the scale's 1 to 4. So we're doing great.
Okay.
What is the
good.
score of?
The show?
Show.
Oh, this show?
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't watch it. John says, since you guys are all going to jail, who's the better cellmate of the three of you? Who's running the yard?
He's running yard. Oh, dude.
Well, we all know Gonky's not running anything,
No.
period. He's going to be sitting in the quarters here school style. So Mover's been through some stuff. He could probably hang because he's got connections. He's got that law enforcement side.
I've been watching
so
the mayor
that's
of
good.
Kingstown a lot lately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no,
I
yeah.
think
Mover's
You
a cop.
grilled a-
We don't like cops. in prison.
Gonky is going
Yeah.
to perfect the prison purse. His prison wallet will be full.
oh, man.
MJ says, have you tried pushing it and popping the clutch? Kate says, I almost read that as Cattell. Kate says, it's never a good idea to deify tech or rely on. Otherwise, we
100%.
wouldn't have a show, though. That's the problem.
We need better tech.
Hey,
Or worse.
you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So I posted a video Friday as per the
As per.
U.S. Air Force Ambassador Program, Social Media Ambassador Program. Finally, that video in its glory has been published. It's obviously new and no one had ever seen it before. And it's our flyover of the Quick Trip Folds of Honor 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway from 2019. The video covers, we're not going to show it because we don't want to get in trouble. Just go to my channel if you want to watch it. But it's me and Gonky and Gono and Skid.
Good times.
We took off out of Eglin. So the first part is the cross country. You missed. I didn't record all of it. I should have recorded the argument from the nerd who didn't want to go land in the
Oh,
weather.
dude.
Remember that?
No, it was he was arguing about the fuel.
Yeah. To go to Dobbins
Right.
from Eglin.
Oh, dude. Anyways, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not that far of a flight.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't know what a T-38 burns, but it better
ex-
be less than that.
Exactly. Exactly what that.
So we did the formation takeoff into the weather. I'm sure the OFP Facebook page has now critiqued all of my formation flying skills, from back when they did it. And
Because that's all they did.
correct.
Well, I think a large group of them is really plugging for age 67 at the airlines right now, too. So give them some credit there.
They're busy.
They're busy. They'll get to
They're
you.
busy. And then we showed something that I don't think a lot of videos have done, kind of the behind the scenes where we went to the track and we're actually planning the flyover with the NASCAR
that's cool.
officials, which was cool. And then the next morning did a Fox News interview with our new SecDef. Gonky stood there and looked pretty. Didn't know what to
I
do
sure
with his
did.
hands.
What he does best.
Didn't know what to do.
Right.
Dude, you remember that? We were like,
Dude,
they're like,
yeah.
who's going to talk? And everybody's like, Mover.
Mover.
Like, yeah.
It's like- well, it's you and Noonan, right? We got 2
Yeah.
mics. I'm like, oh, do not give me that mic.
Yeah. So everybody else, they're like, just stand in the back. And Gonky's like, and do what?
Yeah, what do I do with my hands? But the
Oh,
crazy
man.
thing is only you and Noonan had the earpieces to hear like what was going on. Like the rest of us, like there's like race
Right.
cars going on. We're all standing back there like,
Is it over?
it's like, do I need to keep smiling? My face hurts.
Oh man. So they had me go around and like introduce everybody
Those are
and
good
what their
times.
civilian job was.
Yeah.
You were a land mogul. You weren't even an airline guy back then.
Yeah. Still not really, but yeah.
No.
And we finished that. We went to Robbins, not Dobbins, Robbins. We went to Robbins, final planning, did our takeoff. What I didn't put in was -3 to -1. Hey, your travel pod panel is open. And he had to
Oh, on the
taxi
taxi
back.
out? On the taxi
Yeah.
out, yeah.
On the taxi out, he's like, hey, your panel, it's still open. Like it's flapping.
Ooh.
So he had to
That's not
taxi
good.
back, get TA
Pick
to
up
come
his
out. We sat
luggage.
there running. Yeah.
Like,
And then
oh,
we
my
finally
shower
took-
bag.
We finally took off and we're dude, everybody in watching this video, they're like, it was bumpy. Dude, it was 30+ knot winds, low altitude. And it was like not convective, but the air met for the turbulence. You know, everybody's like, not a smooth ride at all. And so we do the run in and Skid's like, you know, on time, we're ready. And then Skid's like, all right, boys, Noonan, all right, boys, we're running in. You know, I can see the stadium. And Skid goes, 13 seconds late. So he's like, okay, we jog to the left, which I'm for, right? So it's right into me. And then he's like, we're going to jog into right, which is into Gonky. And then he turns and Gonky goes, recommend no burner. He's like, no burner yet, boys. No burner yet.
Yeah, there is a reason why I said that, but I will not reveal that until I'm retired.
No, well, the good reason is because at that point, I'm actually surprised at the response because I figured people were going to be like, you guys looked awful because you're not in any kind of fingertip whatsoever by the time.
No.
Because I knew this as soon as I heard that was what we were going to do. Burners never work for flyovers. You just can't because they light at different times. Somebody's out of position and not ready when it happens. It goons it up. And what happened was exactly that. We went burner and the ripple effect, 2's out in the wind, 3, and we did burner plus a turn. It wasn't just hey, let's fly. It was burner plus the turn to try to get that over the back straightaway. And there was the fact that we were in any position at all within like 500 feet of each other.
We were a single group.
We were single group.
we were a single group.
group
We met that criteria.
But we shacked the TOT.
Shacked it, dude. Thanks,
Shacked
Skid.
the TOT. Skid got
Thanks,
us
Skid.
right there.
He was up on top of the
Skid, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a real cool moment. And then we landed at Dobbins because it was closer to the track despite Atlanta traffic. And we made it to the track, watched the end of the race for the presentation. And what did not get captured, which I wish I had video of Gono to Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, he just won.
And Brad Keselowski turns around. He's all happy he won the race. He's like, hey, bro, look, I won the race, you know, to the military guys that are standing behind him. And Gono goes, you think you're fast? We just flew over at 500 miles an hour. I love Gono to death for that, dude.
So
that
do
is
I.
the most epic.
That was a great day, man. That
was the peak of our time there, or my time there.
Yeah.
That was
man. The squadron commander was there. We were freaking cooking, hanging out.
The Major
the
General
two-star.
Lewis.
Yeah.
The deputy commander of Air Force Reserve Command was there. He watched all our footage after and was like, this is awesome. You guys did great. Yeah. He was so cool. You know, it was just an awesome experience. And the next day we flew back to Eglin, and then it was
yeah.
You know what's
Somebody threw
ironic?
The match in the dumpster.
You know what's ironic? I bought for my birthday that year, I bought a 2011, right?
Mhm.
And posted that video. This year, I bought a 2011 and posted that video.
Look at you.
So there's something with Atlanta
I'm
flyovers.
seeing a trend. here. Yeah.
All right. That's good. We've pissed enough people off.
Let's not say that. I got time.
Crazy Pete says we would tell people the long wire HF antennas were rudder control cables. Robert says your favorite aircraft movie, not Top Gun.
Fly the
Firebirds.
Intruder.
Yeah, I like Fly the Intruder.
Fly the
Firebirds.
Intruder.
Nick Cage.
Firebirds is
am
pretty
the
good.
greatest. Black Hawk Down. Iron Eagle.
Black Hawk Down was pretty good.
It
Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was legit.
Elvis Wolcott.
Michael
That guy
Durant
was cool.
Mike Durant's an awesome dude. I've talked to him. I've got his signed book behind me. That's legit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
legit.
Skid says best JTAC ever. Correct.
Yeah.
Hold on. I know another JTAC.
You were
at a
just
high
one
school flyover.
We shacked that one too. You were
I
just
was
as good.
pretty
Equals.
good.
Equals.
Pretty good. So
Skid says best
just
recruiting
saying.
ever. And then Carl says, great flyover video. And as you say, you'll never impress other pilots, but for us aviation geeks, it looks awesome. All right. So real quick topic, and then we'll go to the mental health minute.
I can't wait to hear about this mental health minute, by the way.
So update on the India-Pakistan air war. We have covered the Pakistan briefing inside of things. And now we're going to talk about what India has said has happened. Doug, roll the tape.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shailesh from National Defense. Please allow me, first of all, to pay my gratitude for protecting
Please
us.
skip that
Indians.
part.
Thank
It
you
takes
very
way
much.
too long to get to his question.
Sir, since not good to reveal the platforms, but since this
Still
has
asking
come from
questions.
various quarters,
Do you have a timestamp where you want it?
I don't know. Just when he stops talking. There you go. Back it up a little bit.
We would not like coming inside out. If I get it right, you want to know how many of their planes we
There you
have
go.
downed?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
See, as I said, their planes were prevented from coming inside our border. All right. So we do not have the wreckage with us, but definitely we have downed a few planes. Numbers, we would not like to hazard a guess out here. Okay. I have the numbers, okay, and we are getting into the technical details of it to establish it. So I would not like to put a figure at this time, but definitely there are losses from their side which we have inflicted.
Were they fourth generation plus, sir?
See, you're putting words into my mouth. Why do you say fourth generation? Let us make it high tech.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, 163.
High tech. 163. I don't know what that means.
सर मैं मंजीत नेगी हूँ आज तक से मेरा सवाल ये है कि इस पूरे
Nope.
ऑपरेशन में जो
Oh boy.
जो बड़े उसके तरफ से भी कहा गया
Manjeet ji, 3 questions. The
think
third
the
one has
rest of
just
it
been
is-
asked here before. So 21, this thing. So I'll request the first to be answered so that we have more number of people who can ask.
Okay, so this is just arguing.
मंजीत, जब मैंने स्टेटमेंट दिया तो मैंने शुरू में ही कहा कि जैसे ही ऑपरेशन सिंदूर कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइज हुआ तो हमारा जो
Okay.
पीछे की
So there's another video, like a 7-hour video, which we're not going to watch. We don't have that kind of time. But they talk about the actual strikes in the Pakistan. But this part was interesting to me because it's a little bit confrontational. And it contrasts with the Pakistan briefing, which I guess I get it. It's different. We're talking different contexts, right? Because you have one where it's a very refined, well-spoken Pakistani official, military member, Air Force member that has flown, and he is speaking in tactics and saying, here's what we did. And it's funny, people make fun of him because he's talking about center of gravity. Dude, that is straight out of ACSC, Air Command and Staff College. That is taught in joint warfare planning in the United States. Like that kind of stuff is taught. Some of the stuff though we looked at, when we're like, okay, maybe, it's hard to confirm. No side has confirmed kills. And then you get this question and it's kind of the same thing, right? It's the Pakistani presentation was a lot more refined. This was more like he got caught off guard. And then, I have an answer, but I don't have an answer, but I don't know, but I do know, but you don't need to know. So don't ask me these questions. And it was that struck me as a little confrontational. And one of the things he said that contrasts with what the other side, the Pakistani side, had said was, we kept them from coming to our side. But if you watch the Pakistani official, he's like, we weren't trying to go to his side. We were trying to keep them from our side. So it's very clear that they're both in a standoff posture, that they're taking pot shots across, not to cross borders. So I think still it is very hard to confirm kills other than they've shown some satellite evidence of bases and, other stuff. And there's been, some stuff on social media, but no one has confirmed anything. And one thing somebody pointed out that I thought was interesting too, Martin Baker always comes out with, hey, this number of lives saved. They have not. And that doesn't mean it's happened. It doesn't mean it doesn't. It's just, that's one more piece of evidence that you're like, hey, we're not getting, there's a big disinformation warfare going on from both sides. And I understand why, because when you're in negotiations, you're not going to be like, yeah, we got our asses kicked.
Sure.
Everybody's going to, Baghdad Bob, remember him? He was saying that they weren't at the gates until, we were rolling down the streets. So that's part of warfare. I don't think anybody would outright say, but to me, it's a bit interesting that, the contrast in the two briefings. Gonky, what do you think?
Yeah, the one that we watched, I think it was the last week before, the Pakistani one. That was definitely that was a brief. This, with the Indian leadership, it was more of a press conference type.
Right, Q&A.
Yeah, like a little more conversational. Whereas, the Pakistani one, he came in with a briefcase, talking points, like all doped out.
And there may be a version of that, like, like that's why I said there's context, right? Because we picked this because he talked about, the kills, but there may be another video. I have not found the equivalent video.
I looked for the equivalent video, and it probably exists behind closed doors, on the Indian side. But they have not put anything out to the public. So this is all we have to go on. And like you said, it was a little confrontational, just because the reporter asking questions is just trying to kind of like everybody is trying to get the truth out. And he was very, like you said, it almost felt like he wasn't quite ready for the questions. Although if you're somebody in his position going to a press conference like that, I would be prepared for, I like to think I would be prepared for a question like that. Yeah, both sides are taking a very DCA-ish mindset, it looks like, with their with what they're doing. He said they shot down airplanes, but they can't get them because they're on the Pakistani side of the border, right? So, yeah, man, I tell you what, I did a lot of searching today, and there's just it's just still so hard to find
valid sources.
Yeah, valid sources and things that kind of make sense, because, like, what is high tech? The guy just asked him a simple question. Fourth gen airplanes, like what are we talking about here?
Probably J10. I mean, if I had to guess, you're starting to, you're talking J10 PL15, like that. To me, that's the Gen 4 plus, kind of stuff versus an old school,
right. But and you talked about it as far as, trying to negotiate their way out of this instead of fighting, which is what they should do.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep things vague. I mean, you don't want to be beating your chest too hard, because that's offensive to the other side, right? So you're just trying to, cooling type language, right? So I don't know, man. Maybe the truth will make its way out there, but it's not. I have not found it on the interwebs.
Yeah, Wombat, what do you think?
I think this just speaks to the culture of the two countries a little bit more. And again, like you said about the negotiations, it's just more so kind of how they are, where it's like they are trying to negotiate this, from my understanding, but they're also going to show that they can defend themselves. They're not pushovers, but they're, unlike other conflicts recently that have been going on for a while that get a lot of news, those two countries are doing the opposite, where it's very much the chest bumping, like, look what we're doing. So it's just different cultures of different countries handling a conflict a completely different way. So I think that's why I think they're probably putting a lot of effort in. At first, I would say like misinformation, but I think it's actually trying to keep things under wraps to be able to come to a conclusion quicker, and not have something come out that they regret long term.
And this is not something like, like you're talking about. It's not specific to this region, right? It's not Pakistan and India, the only ones that would do this. The United States has done this, in press conferences. We have done, either we are vague and don't want to answer something, we get dodgy because maybe we're not prepared, or maybe we don't know, or maybe we know and you shouldn't know.
Correct.
Or we outright have said the wrong thing, and later it comes out that no, that wasn't true, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So that's not specific to them. And I think it may be a little unfair in the apples to oranges comparison, like you talked about, Gonky, where it's, you've got one that's coming in with a brief, and he's going to tell you, he's telling a bunch of reporters. Now, they probably weren't even allowed to ask questions too. Like this might have been an open forum where it's like, hey guys, ask some questions. And it's the hostile, White House press briefing style that we're used to here. Yeah. I will say that I hope peace prevails, and that, that the terror attack that kicked this off was pretty, horrific. That's not nobody should condone that. The people that did it should be held responsible, but I hope that a larger war between two nuclear powers that are neighbors is not the direction we're headed, long term. So that's just me. All right. Let us end that. Peterson says, you guys rock that flyover. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
Pelvic Thrust says, Gonky, when will you be joining us old men 30 plus on the dual sport adventure bike dark side?
Is there a senior version of that 30 plus group that he could join?
Yeah, I wish I was 30 plus, to be honest.
I mean, technically, much like an aircraft carrier goes 30 plus notch, you are 30 plus years old, my friend.
Valid. That's true.
I mean, it's like the stealth plus. You're in the 30 plus plus.
You're just more of the plus. That's all.
You're in the plus. Fat Amy plus.
I've done dual sport riding before. I really enjoy it. I like it. Right now, probably when my son gets older and can ride on the street, I might get into it. But yeah, if it's got two wheels, man, I'm into it.
Okay, folks, this show has ended. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wombat.
Been too long, Wombat.
It has.
Next week, it'll be Buckeye Ops.
Oh, is that? Yeah, that'd be good.
So as soon as any people in the establishment watch this, retirement papers are going to be in. If they'll let me retire, because I'm pretty sure.
I think they have to at this point. You have too many years.
Some point, they can prevent you with some stuff, legal action. But that's it for this week. We'll see how much more damage we can do next week.
Are you doing a show on Memorial Day?
Is that next week?
Let me try to put this a different way. So
is
next week's Memorial Day. Are you guys
is that next Monday?
I have no idea, dude. Most of the time, we have no idea what day it is.
Literally,
between the Chinese guy getting us in trouble with the feds and me getting us fired by naming douchebags.
A Chinese guy really got you in trouble with the feds?
No, he's trying to. Like today, he's back.
It is Memorial Day, dude.
Breaking news, yes.
Man.
This ain't the news or nothing.
Are you guys going to do one on Memorial Day?
Yes.
Probably. I mean, what else we got going on?
We don't ever take.
That's not true. You guys have done.
We memorialize on Memorial Day.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
Why are you joining us? Or are you?
I don't know.
flying?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's double.
We'll have
Is
to
that double
negotiate the
pay?
contract.
Well, move away. We got to check
It is.
we got to check our list of guests. that we're just
Celebrities.
waiting. Celebrity guests.
So
that we're
you know what
trying-
I know you guys have, and you're not going to ever disclose this, but I know you think of this. You have a list of every guest speaker you've had and the max viewership on your show. And you can tell yourselves that I'm not the highest, but I know I'm the highest.
Nope,
Just
you're not.
Blanco
close to the highest.
is the
Blanco
highest.
Lyria is the highest.
That doesn't. That I'm number 2, and I'll take that.
It's strong with you, Wombat. It's
Yeah.
strong.
I
I'll
know.
tell you what you do is you give longer answers than Jared Isaacman.
Dude. Wait.
I mean, it's a show. We're supposed to be talking. We're having fun.
No, it's a good thing, Wombat.
No, we
Yeah.
love you. Please continue.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm gonna go to bed since I got up at 5 o'clock to fly twice across the country today.
All right.
It's been a long day.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
See you
Hey,
later.
folks.
Hit the button.